So, you go into your local Barnes& and Noble store or your local store. You head on over to your regular place, but then you realize they're having a 2 for 3 of mangas. So, you go over to that section and you see this weird looking guy with some jitsu kind of shirt, and he's in the just corner just vaping and looking at the books. So, you go over there, you're thinking to yourself, what? There's pictures in here. I love the more sophisticated books. I love the words, no pages allowed, X. For instance, this is a wrong example. For instance, Oshigiteo, and you look at it, and you're thinking, whoa, this is so cool. Not cringy at all. I think the cool guys would like this. So you keep reading and reading, and then out of nowhere, you're very dedicated. Meaning, 2 to 10 times you'll watch the anime, or 5 hours you're just gonna go crazy and read a book. So then we head on to the question, is manga right for you? Come on. Now we're going to be talking about the fundamentals of the manga. Chapter 1. We're going to be talking about the differences of the chapters and pages. So, some books are very different. For instance, Tokyo Go. It has tons of pages and it's long. Pause on that. While this book, this is probably a bad example, this book contains 3 mangas. Cheap too, just saying, and it has a ton of wording. But a regular manga would actually just look like this. Just a plain book. Just like this. And company-wise, there are tons of companies that produce manga. Like Dark Horse, Shonen, Viz. I think Viz and Shonen are the same thing. Kandasha Comics. And many more. Each manga, depending on the company, for instance, Shonen, there has to be at least 7 chapters with at least 151 or 225 pages. And for starters, for noobs, have to be read from right to left. And now we go into the panels. Let's go. Now, for instance, this book, how it's read. Whoa, that's a lot of reading. No worries. So you have these panels. You're going to start from this, then you're going to head on over here, read this first, pretty much everything to the right first. And FYI, you get some dramatic moments in these mangas, for instance, dun dun, and some weird face reactions. But other than that, I really love the art. Part 2, we're going to be talking about the pricing. Not every manga is going to be the same price. For instance, most of Shonen Jump, they're more $9.99 US, $12.99 in Canada, and $6.99 in the UK. For instance, this $10, this $15, and this $13. It just depends on pretty much the company and how much they are willing to put a price on it. Because for instance, Berserk, each book is $15, and depending on your budget, I would recommend it if you really want a manga with good story, a manga that has really good art, and if you can afford it, because it is very pricey. Now we head on to part 3, the pros and cons. Come on. We're going to first start off with the pros. The pros, as you can see, it looks hella lit on the shelves. And depending on your choice, you could collect your favorite manga or collect just manga in general. I know some few people who just generally collect manga because they love the Japanese culture and they just want easy read sometimes. And one of the best starters for manga would be Dragon Ball Z. Death Note, One Punch, Bleach, uh, and Naruto, and many more. And back then, they used to have 4 main mangas: DBZ, Death, no, is it? No, DBZ, One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto. Those are Shonen's best mangas and slash animes that have been released throughout these years. If you want an easy read, a quick what manga is, how manga is interpreted, I would actually recommend those 4 mangas that I've listed. But my personal favorite, Bleach's favorite, physical copies. You can. This is the best pro out there, but the best physical copies are pretty much the best thing about the pros, because whenever the internet is down, you can always just head on over to your shelf or head on over to your pile of books and just read manga from there. Because I know for a fact that if you purchase mangas online and your Wi-Fi is off or your Wi-Fi is very slow, your mangas can either load really slow or they won't show at all, because depending on the Wi-Fi, you can get screwed. Or space on your phone. If you have limited gigabytes, like I used to, that can be a problem. So I would actually recommend buying the physical copies because they look good on shelves, best memories of your life, and supporting the manga industry. Now we're gonna head on to the cons. The expensive part of manga is always buying it consistently, aka I always release manga every month. Link in the description. I release manga, a manga video, a manga haul every month, and with my budget, I can afford it. But with most people, I'm not too sure about it, because I usually don't care about the pricing. I would only care about the story. I would only care about pretty much if it catches my attention. For instance, box sets, they contain like pretty much like a story arc, but at the same time they're like $240 or even $300. And one of my favorites, Princess. Yeah. No, Princess Jellyfish. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this. I love this book. I love the anime. I also love the art. The art can sometimes be a bit wizzy, but at the same time, I love the story. Yet, at the same time, this is $20. But you're getting $20 filled with tons of pages and story-wise. So, you can never complain as long as you love the story, the art, and moving wise, the cons of having mangas is there's not enough space, meaning you would have to always find space, find room to put around your room, or you're gonna have to move it around anywhere that fits, and you would have to pay tons of money just to get a really good bookshelf. For instance, I would always, whenever I didn't have a bookshelf just now, wow, what a beautiful bookshelf! Wow, this is so glorious. I would always put my books in a place that would always like screw with the pages, screw with the covers, and also I would always put mangas like on tables, which made my room even nastier. So I bought a shelf, not a lot, $25, Target, and yeah, that's how I solved mine. But I know I'm different from many other people, so I would recommend manga if 1, you have the space, and 2, if you have the budget. And the last con that I'm going to be talking about is just old manga. When I mean old manga, I mean we all heard this talk before. Getting out of the phase. We all have that phase where, you know, Rosetta Stone, and we lose interest on manga that we used to like. So I'm not sure how to explain it, but you would never know when to get rid of it, or you would just find it annoying when you want to reread each manga, or if you want to do that. Part 4 is where to buy manga. Some types of places that you can buy manga would be Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, your local bookstore, or even eBay. Don't buy it on eBay. eBay? In my opinion, it always comes down to 50-50 because Amazon, you always have to make sure that you're getting the right pricing. You always have to remember and always make sure that that manga is in your language. Please don't be like me. Come on, man. I got this first. You know what language it is? I have no idea. So please make sure that you always look at the reviews, look at the description, so that you don't get mixed up. That's on Amazon. Barnes and Nobles, most places you can either have a perfect condition book or you can get a ragged, nasty, torn, pathetic looking, horrible book. All I'm saying from there is check the pricing, check the condition of the book. If you're like me, I love collecting manga and I love collecting manga in perfect condition. And just make sure that you don't outgrow that manga because it's a tragedy if you just read it and then you just throw it away. Because what's the point of collecting manga if you're just going to do that? So, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all of the points that I've made. Hopefully I made everything clear about what manga is, how to get manga, and the pros and cons of mangas. So, shortly after this, I am going to be posting my monthly July manga-based video. But hopefully this was helpful to some people because I know manga and anime in general is increasing by tons, meaning the popularity is going off the roof and there's not enough people to explain to you what manga is or how to read it. Or if I'm being a smart kid, you can always check the back. They always tell you, hey, the dingus, you're reading it the wrong way. So make sure you're doing that. I've been Dex, signing out. This.
Alright, record.
Okay, son. Okay. Ooh, ooh, ee. Okay.